Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to math. Before we begin the lesson, I'd like you to make sure that you have the following materials: your math textbook, a pencil, and eraser. Okay? And that should be all you need. If you would like to have some counters nearby, but you don't have to, all right? But if that makes you feel comfortable to check your work, that's certainly okay. All right, and the whiteboard for when we do our little math warm-up. Okay, if you need to go get those materials, then pause and then come back. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be to use a number line to add. All right, so let's first think, what do you think a number line is? That's right, we made one, right? It is this line with the numbers in order. Very good. Okay. We're going to continue to work on answering our essential question of how do I use strategies to add numbers? So let's start with this math today. Okay, we're going to count on to add, which we did in our last lesson. We're going to continue to practice with that. So they've already shown us some groups of pennies, and underneath it, they have already shown how much there are of each. So, and again, as a reminder, because this is money, it is labeled with the cent sign, okay? So we don't have to count because we already see that there's 4 cents here. So we just have to count on. So 4, and you can write this on your whiteboard. And if you want to pause and write the next 3 numbers and then come back and check, that would be great. Okay, so here we go. 5, 6, and 7 cents. We always make sure we use that label and say that. Number 5. All right, count on from 5 2 times. All right, so 5, 6, and 7. Good job. All right, ready for the last one? 6 cents. 6 cents. All right, you can pause and write the next 3 numbers. 6, 7, 8, and 9. That 8 looks like it got blown over a little bit. Okay, all right, good job. Okay, now let's go to our next. How can you use a number line to add? Let's look at it. Notice the numbers. Okay. How do you think a number line would be helpful? Tell your adult or just say it out loud. How do you think this could help? I think it could help because, well, when we add, we're counting, and these numbers are in counting order. So I think they could help us count along to add. Okay, so let's check this one. All right, it says choose a number from 1 to 8 on the number line. Draw a point on the number line. Use the number line to add 4 to the number. Then draw a point on the sum and complete the addition sentence. Okay, that sounds like a lot to do, but guess what? We'll break it apart and we'll check it, okay? All right, so first, let's do this. Choose a number from 1 to 8. Let's pick 7. Okay, so then they say draw a point. So that means like they want us to point to it. Okay, 7. Now, use the number line to add 4 to the number. So that means they want us to count on. All right, so here's the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they want us to draw a point to the sum right here. Okay, to point it out. All right, so now we need to complete the number sentence. We started at 7. All right, we counted up 4, and we stopped on 11. All right. That seems like a very convenient way and good tool to have a number line. All right, let's see what they say. All right. And well, you know what? They just said if you started and added, check your sum. So since we picked 7 and they didn't know that, they couldn't tell us the answer, but it is 11. Okay. All right. Let's do this investigation. I love when it's investigating. I feel like I'm a detective. Okay. Solve the addition problem in the 2 ways shown. Okay. One way, 7 plus 3. Show 7 objects. Show 3 objects. Find the total. Okay. So let's get some tools here. Let's do the small ones, okay? 7. All right. Ready? You're going to count with me, right? 1, 2, 3. Don't go too fast. I can't move that fast. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, I know some of you might already know what the sum is, but I like to follow along and do it, and it's just kind of fun to do. All right. Then they say show 3 objects. 1, 2, and 3. Let's straighten those out. Now we're going to find the total. Okay. So let's count. Well, we already know this is 7, so I'm going to just say 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that's one way. Now this one, it says to start at the 7, and I like to circle the number that I start on. Okay, so count and then count on by 3. 1, 2, 3, and look what I got, 10 as the sum. Okay. All right. Good job. You get that too? I know that it's fun to play with the, with the little counters here, but this certainly works pretty quickly when you take your time. It does help you get the answer sooner. It's kind of an interesting thing. All right, so now we're going to go. I would like you to get your math book and open to page 223, okay? I'm going to write that number. Let's hope it can do it. 223, okay? And if you need to pause the video and find 223, and that's the page we're going to do today's lesson. Okay? All right, so let me tell you the story about this neat little bridge. Also notice, look at this here, okay, about the numbers, all right, and how it's going on. Okay, so here's the story. Let's listen to the story first before we start solving things. A car is driving across the bridge. It stops at the number 4, okay. It drives 3 spaces to the right. And then they want to know what number does it stop at. Okay, so first, one of the things you need to know is to make sure you know left and right. True? Okay, so right here is the right side. So that means we're going to count along to the right. Also, something else I would like to point out. As you count to the right, look at the numbers. What happens to them? That's right, they go up by 1. So they get greater as you go to the right on the number line. Okay. So the car drove on the bridge and stopped at the number 4. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to draw a little arrow here just to show, okay, where it stopped. And then it drove 3 more spaces to the right. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, whoops, that was a little crooked. Where did it stop? At the 7. Now they would like us to write the addition number sentence. Okay, so the first number we know was the 4 because that's where the car stopped. It drove 3 more spaces. So the sum right here is 7, where the car stopped. Okay? All right, so let's continue. There it is right there. 4 plus 3 equals 7. All right, turn your page to the See and Show. Now, a couple things I want to just talk to you about with a number line. Have you noticed how there's arrows here? Okay. That is the way of them letting us know that the numbers go on forever. There's no ending in numbers. So it's almost like there's a big, big, big number line just going through the air, and they pulled a piece out of it and stuck it right here. But the arrows are letting us know that it's continuing to the right, and believe it or not, it continues to the left. Those are negative numbers. We will not be using them in first grade, but I just like to let you know that when you're older, you will learn about negative numbers, and it's really kind of cool. But we're going to just do positive, what they call positive numbers, okay? So you can use a number line to add. Start with the greater number and count on by moving to the right. Now, here's a helpful hint in the cloud. Start with the greater number, which happens to be in this math sentence 5, and then count on 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now you can trace it. Now, one of the things that I would like to really stress, that means it's important when we're doing this, okay? When you are counting on a number line, this is really important for you to know. When you're counting, okay, you start at the greater number. And again, you know me, I like to circle the greater number here. Okay, so start on the 5. And you don't start counting on until you move your finger, you move your pencil, you move the cursor on the computer. Do not count until we move. So right now I'm on 5. Am I counting? No, because I didn't move yet. All right, here we go. I'm going to count on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there it is. The sum is 8. All right, so that's the really important thing that if I can just stress on you is don't count until you move. All right, let's move on. Okay, now on this page here, okay, which is the bottom of that page, on page 224, you're going to notice that they've only showed numbers 1 and 2 here, but you're going to notice that on the rest of the page, the rest of that page in your book, up to number 4, they have a number line next to each math sentence, okay? And this is a way for you to practice, and what they say is show your work. Now, when they mean show your work, they mean take your pencil, okay, and just neatly count on. Now, one of the other things I'm going to tell you is don't get all crazy, because you're going to make it difficult for yourself to find your answer or pay attention to it, okay? So here we go. Let's try it. Now, write the number line. Use the number line to add, show your work, and write the sum. Okay, once again, here's the largest number. That's where we're going to start, number 6, right there. How many am I counting on? 2. All right. Am I counting yet? Why? That's right, because I'm not moving. Okay. Now, ready? We're going to, nope, don't count yet. I didn't move. Okay, ready? 1, 2. All right. So what's my sum? The number 8. Now, yes, that wasn't probably the best way of counting, but you notice I still got there. All right. 8 plus 2. Circle the 8. Go to the 8. How many am I counting on? 2. Am I counting yet? No. Okay, ready? Too fast. Ready? 1, 2. What's the sum? 10. Very good. Okay, let's check and see how they show us. All right. Whoops, there we go. Look at that. 8 and 10. They don't show the work. All right. Use the number line to add and show your work. Remember, circle the greater number because that's where you're going to start from on the number line, and then count on and write your sum, okay? Go ahead and do that now if you want to pause, and then you can check your work. Okay, so let me just show you, all right, how you're circling the 4. Whoops, it would be good if I had a pencil there, right? You're going to circle the 4, okay? And neater than I did it. And you're going to start at 4. How many you're counting on? That's right, 1. 1. I don't know why it's acting silly now. 1. Okay, so it's 5. And then you've done the same thing with that. All right. Now, before we go on, let's talk about how does a number line help you add? Well, how did that help you add the past few ones you did? Yeah, because you're counting. So it helps you count and get your sum. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, I already know what 1 plus 4 is, or I already know what 5 plus 3 is. And just remember, I'm always going to say this, okay? For those of you who know, that's wonderful. I'm so happy. But also, they're showing you number sentences that you're getting to know, because this way, if by some chance you make a little bit of a mistake, then you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't look right. All right. And then what's great is once you know how to do this, you can do it with numbers that you don't know. And then you'll learn those too. All right. Okay. So now for this page on 225, the one thing I do want to tell you, all right, you only have the one number line on top. All right. So it may not be a good idea to use your pencil to count on. All right. Because then you'd want to have to erase each time or so. Using your finger is not a bad idea. Now, this is also a good time for your handy dandy number line, okay? And again, this is something I suggest you don't write on, okay? Because this could be something you'll use when you're doing any addition from 0 to 20. Okay, so I would use your finger, or you can just take one of your little round counters or a penny and use that as the place to start and then count on and stop. Okay, so this is why I asked you to hold on to this, and I would still say to keep it in a safe place for us to use. But this one is, you could just use your finger, or some boys and girls like to use their eraser on their pencil because they know it's not going to mark up their paper. Okay, just some ideas. Okay, so use this number line to help you, and pause this and come back and check your work. There you go. Pause it if you still need to check. And here we go. Here's some more. This number line is going to come in handy, I'm telling you. Pause it if you need to check. And getting a lot of math practice. All right. And the last 3. Okay. Okay. There we go in your answers. Now, one of the other things I'd like to say is if you think you know the math problem and you write your sum down, the number line's another way to check. Okay, so you shouldn't have to be doing this anymore because you've got the number line right there. All right, and nowadays it's really important to keep your fingers and stuff away from your face. So now you don't have to worry about using your hands near your face. You have the number line. Okay, let's look at our problem solving. Emilio saw 5 bikes. His brother saw 2 bikes. How many bikes did they see in all? Okay, so which is the larger number? Put your finger on the number line on the largest number or the greater number. Put it here. Okay. How many did his brother see? 2, that's right. So, ready? Count with me as you move your finger. 1, 2. How many did they see in all? 7. Very good. Okay, let's look at the next one. Liz saw 8 pigeons. Logan saw 2 pigeons. How many pigeons did they see in all? All right, this one I'd like you to do. Look for the larger number and then count on. You got 10? Good job. All right, here we go for our right math. Why do you start? Let's think. Oh, this is a really good discussion one. Why do you start with the greater number when adding on a number line? What do you think? Greater number. That's right, because then there's less to count, right? So we're going to put why we're starting with the greater number. Okay, let's see. Okay. If you start with the greater number, there is less to count up. Think about that, right? If you had 9 and you only had to count up 1, yeah, a lot easier, isn't it? Okay. So boys and girls, you can make this a great game, okay? You could ask your parents or somebody to give you an addition number sentence and say, give me a number between, maybe you might say 0 and 10, and then start there and say, okay, tell me how many to count up, but not more than, say, 5. Between 0 and 5. They give you one. Count up, boom, there's your answer. You don't have to use your fingers. I mean, you use your fingers on this to move, but you're not counting on your fingers, and you're not drawing, and you're not guessing. You could just use your number line and practice math sentences that way. Yeah, see, look at that. Another cool tool. All right, boys and girls, have a great time finishing. I love doing the number line. I always like it. I think it's a lot of fun. So maybe we can make some games out of it, okay? And good job, and see you soon. Bye-bye.